What's going on, everyone? You're watching The Sound Check. I'm Blake, and this is TK, and we're going to be reacting to something a little different, but yet very spicy. We are watching what, TK?
We are watching our boy Patrick CC. We're both big fans of Patrick's channel. CC. So this one just came out. It is rappers who destroyed their careers with one mistake. Everybody loves a good drama, bro. So I'm keen to see it.
We sure do.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
A successful rap career is extremely hard to obtain, yet very easy to destroy. One mistake, one bad album, one tweet could start a ripple effect that leads a rapper to fade into irrelevance. Today we are going to look at the stories of rappers whose careers dwindled for reasons they likely could have prevented, starting with superstar Pride, a rapper who had the fastest and most ironic rise and fall of all time. Many of you heard superstar Pride briefly in 2023 when his song Painting Pictures went viral. However, it wasn't necessarily viral for the song, but rather his obscure mullet-style haircut. The crazy part about this track is that it was originally uploaded in 2020 and went unnoticed. And mama, don't worry, you raised the... Then 2 years...
Just quickly, I love how Pat, he'll describe, something that's it's really funny to talk about, but he uses, his, super serious voice.
Yeah, bro, he makes everything sound, really dramatic. It's so good.
It's because, you know that he finds it funny, but he's just, playing for the plot. It's so good.
Yeah.
Years later, when he uploaded the live mic performance video to Painting Pictures, it also fell on deaf ears. It wasn't until 5 months after the music video dropped, February of 2023, that Pride casually created a TikTok, posted the music video snippet, and it blew up. The first clip he posted got 10 million views. The second one did over 40 million views.
Jesus,
Bro got
that's
the Sonic
nuts.
haircut. Bro looked like he got screamed at. Bro's haircut was 50% off. Nobody was talking about the song, just his hair. Then a viral trend emerged of people imitating his video with something ridiculous taped to the back of their head, which could not be
Is that an air fryer?
Managed to get an entire airplane strapped to their head.
Yes.
The line, "Mama Don't Worry" was also getting stuck in people's heads, which led to the song amassing 160 million streams on Spotify
dude.
and over 30 million on YouTube. Painting Pictures shot up to number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100, and every major label got into a bidding war trying to sign him. But
Bro, just quickly, the effect that TikTok has on the music industry is nuts, dude.
Wild.
Nuts. These artists that had nothing just blow up to have millions of views, seemingly overnight. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's how it feels, hey?
Yeah.
But he sided with Steve Stout and his independent structured music label, United Masters.
And he wanted $5 million from a label. And when they didn't give him $5 million, they were offering him $3 million. He's like, if it ain't $5 million, I'm not signing it. I'm like, what?
Pride let his ego get the best of him, refusing $3 million for wanting $5 million. 3 weeks after refusing the record deal, he was arrested for murder.
A Mississippi
Whoa.
in
Jesus.
County. 20-year-old Kadarius Pride, known as Superstar Pride.
The victim, Marcus Wheatley, was Pride's barber, likely responsible for his signature hairstyle.
Sorry, that shouldn't be funny, but that is funny as hell. He has the worst haircut of all time, and he killed his barber. That is so...
Dude, this is juicy.
Dude, that is too ironic.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
Wheatley's grandmother said Pride stormed into their house and gunned him down in the backyard. Currently, Pride is being held without bond and doesn't have a trial set. Nobody knows what happened or why it happened. But a rapper going viral for his ridiculous haircut in February, then allegedly murdering his barber a few months later after denying $3 million is the most insane self-sabotage I have ever seen. And if you thought Pride's story was a poetically ironic form of self-sabotage, meet Chance the Rapper, who once famously said, "I met Kanye West, I am never going to fail," but still managed to fail.
My name is Gabby. I live in New York City and I work in SEO.
Chance the Rapper's 2013 mixtape Acid Rap was
Yeah, it's a
universally
huge
praised by
project,
hip-hop fans.
man.
His raspy voice and sprinkle of soul combined with his youthful, positive energy made this project a masterpiece. Tracks like Cocoa Butter Kisses and Favorite Song have aged like fine wine. But Chance was in no rush to capitalize on his buzz. He worked on his next mixtape for 3 years. He had the whole city of Chicago rooting for him and garnered support from the biggest artists in the world, including Kanye West, who featured
Childish
Chance on his
Gambino as
2016
well.
album, The Life Life of Pablo. Chance's part on Ultralight Beam is one of the biggest highlights of the project. Coloring Book was his 2016 mixtape that served as the perfect follow-up to acid rap. Chance's cadence, soulful lyrics, and euphoric beat selection was unlike anyone else in hip-hop at the time, especially on tracks No Problem and All We Got. He earned a Grammy for Best New Artist, and some people even believed he could give Drake a run for his money, but then he blew it.
And I'm gonna blow you away when you hear about today's sponsor. Lately, I've been obsessed with fantasy sports, and that's where today's sponsor comes in. Underdog
How's the
Fantasy.
moustache
Underdog
on
is
Pat,
the easiest
dude?
way to play fantasy
Killer.
sports, but not just football. You can make picks on baseball, basketball, hockey, UFC, and more. Just pick whether
Would
you
you do
think your
this?
favorite player's stats will be
No, I
higher
should
or
get into
lower,
it, to
and
be
you can make
honest.
big money.
It's
You can
blowing
make your
up
own entries
huge,
as few as
man.
2
Yeah,
picks
fantasy
and 3x
sports is
your
like the
money, or
biggest
go
thing.
bigger to win
Wow.
up to 20x. Right
I
now,
don't follow
Underdog
any
is giving new
sports, so-
customers a special pick for Trevor Lawrence. All he
far
needs to
fallen
do is
on
have
me,
one
but,
game to win.
you know, I want
Here
to
are my
back
picks for
Pat.
week 13
Get
of the
him- get him
NFL
some
season,
cash.
and if it hits, I'll 20x my money. I also have a special promo. Underdog is offering new users a $100 deposit match. Underdog's pick'em games are available in 30+ states.
I love how,
including
like, you'll just be
California,
watching, like, a
Texas, and
YouTube
in Canada.
video
All you have
like
to do
this
is
and
click the
it's
link below or download Underdog
Get some
via the
fantasy
App Store and
sports.
use
Yeah.
code Patrick
Or like a
CC.
murder
That's
one.
Underdog's
Yeah,
exclusive
dude.
promo
Try
code
HelloFresh.
Patrick CC for a
Yeah,
first
yeah,
deposit
legit.
match up to $100.
Hey, if any
Makes
sponsors
the
are watching
NFL
this
even
video,
more
hit up your
interesting for me.
boys.
Yeah.
We'll
Rep
plug
team
whatever you want.
with
Whatever.
Underdog. Starting with a track called Groceries, a corny TikTok song that was heavily marketed on Triller to capitalize on the Whoa dance craze. The song went viral, but when fans criticized it on Twitter, his responses would put a nasty stain on his reputation. People have different
Jeez,
tastes, and
that's
that's fine,
heavy.
but the way you're talking to fans who have been with you since 10 days disappointing, and that ego reflects on the quality of your newest music. Eat it. You are a spoiled child who thinks artists are making music for you. I never
Jeez
intended for you to
Louise.
find or like anything I made. If I knew you existed, I would have tried my hardest to keep you from being able to enjoy it. Now go eat it again. Then chants over and over again to
That's just so childish, bro. Like, how do you think that that's a good strategy to take? People who have been with you since day one don't like your new thing. That's fine. Just ignore them. Like, you don't need to go tell people to eat a D for not liking your music. That's just childish.
Just quickly,
dude.
I mean, doesn't really hold too much relevance, but I was meant to see Chance at a festival in Australia in 2019.
Oh, okay.
And I don't even know what actually happened, but like people spotted him out here or something, or he was coming or something, and he like cancelled like while we're at the festival
Oh, no way.
and just
like the day of.
like the day before. Because it was like a 3-day festival.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And like the day before or the first day he cancelled, and everyone was like, what? And like, yeah, it was a lot of speculation if like he was in the country or if
Yeah.
he stayed home, and
I'm
maybe
sure-
he went through some stuff, but we'll
Yeah,
find out.
that's
I'm
exactly
sure.
what I was going to say. We'll find out. But from these pointless, stupid tweets to cancelling festival appearances, surely something has to be going on mentally or in his life. So let's see.
told the fan to eat a dick. This interaction was a far cry from the positive and wholesome Chance the Rapper fans loved. Then he dropped his debut album, The Big Day, on July 26, 2019.
I think this
the Big
was a
Day was a
really
reference
crap
to his
album.
wedding day, which he was planning during the creation of this album. Chance mentions his wife and family over 20 times on the record, which became a huge meme. And while his intentions were pure, the album simply was not good.
I am genuinely feeling like a strong 0 on this record.
Fans hated the project as well, and were quick to let him know. On Twitter, Chance would block anyone who poked fun at him or said anything negative
Can't
about
do
the
that,
album.
man.
With the influx of
Can't
hate,
do
he
that.
responded with extreme measures. I'm getting this crazy feeling that people want me to end it. These desperate tweets combined with his lazy album would lead to him canceling his 32-city arena tour, saying that he was instead going to focus on spending time with his family, which again sounds understandable, but it was a lie. The tour was actually canceled due to, quote, historically low ticket sales. According to his now ex-manager Pat Corcoran, Chance fired his manager, then blamed him for fan disappointment in The Big Day and underwhelming fan support for its associated tour. Corcoran would go on to file a lawsuit in November of 2020 against Chance the Rapper for breach of contract, stating that he is owed over $2.5 million in reimbursed expenses for supporting and promoting Chance's career, an additional $3 million for unpaid commissions, and 15% of Chance's
Chance's net profit across all business earnings. The lawsuit also revealed that Chance started working on his album in February of 2019, which was only 5 months before it was released. His manager knew there was not enough time for the creative process that was involved in releasing an album. Chance's recording efforts were compromised by unproductive and undisciplined studio sessions, procrastination, and lackadaisical effort, which explains why there are terrible lyrics throughout this record. If you blink it, you might miss it. You gotta click it or tick it. Life is short as a midget, but mine's a little LeBron. And how could we forget?
Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat. Peanut butter jelly with a peanut butter jelly. Y'all ain't ready for the jelly, it'll break y'all back.
Chance let his own ego squander his career. He couldn't just admit that he made his fans wait 3 years for a bad album that was rushed out in 5 months. And the way he responded to them on Twitter was just childish. From here, all his hype died. On the other hand, if he stepped out of the limelight to genuinely focus on his family, that's respectable. Maybe that's something we should celebrate rather than see as a downfall. But Chance wasn't the only rapper whose Twitter fingers started their downfall. In the case of OG Maco, he pretty much forced everyone to hate him because of his tweets. In 2014, OG Maco had a ton of momentum after his song You Guessed It went viral on Vine. This track was unlike anything we had ever heard at the time, before mumble rap took over and OG Maco screaming insane ad-libs over the most simplistic, hard-hitting trap beat. He had a darker, more rock-like aesthetic and even called himself not a rapper, but a rock star. The song reached number 90 on the Billboard Hot 100, and he could even be credited with inspiring many rappers after him. It definitely inspired Keith Ape, who just released a track called Itji Ma that sounded suspiciously similar. Just listen to them at the same time.
I'm gonna try something. Don't expect it to sound good.
OG Maco tweeted, I'm aware of the Koreans that mocked me and took my sauce. I'm not impressed. I'm not inspired. I think it's kinda lame. To each his own. Maco even accused Beyonce of stealing from him in her 7-Eleven music video.
Not true at all.
If you look at them side by side, he may have a point. But Maco was developing a reputation of a bitter, egotistical rapper who complains on the internet. He randomly took shots at his collaborators and label mates, the Migos. Maco felt the need to tell everyone that Skippa da Flippa invented the dab dance that the Migos were using in the song Pipe It Up, to which the Migos replied, "The Flippa man is Migo family. OG Maco, let's see you set a trend." Then Maco said, "Half the rap game has already bit one of my flows or ad-libs. Let me see them album sales." Meanwhile, OG Maco has never had a gold album, let alone the dozens of platinum records the Migos have. Then he went after Lil Uzi when XXL tweeted, "Lil Uzi is rap's newest rock star." He tweeted, "Dudes don't just become rock stars. Somebody gotta show you the way. Stop playing with my name," with a picture of Uzi at an OG Maco show.
Bro, this guy's obsessed with himself. It's crazy.
Wild.
Like,
man.
bro, you didn't set every trend in music. Calm down a little bit, little bro.
On stage behind him. Then Academic said, "You paved the way for Uzi?" Then Maco replied with dozens of tweets over the next hour trying to explain why he is so influential and Uzi was stealing his sauce. He also randomly took shots at Future. I love Future, but I also understand Future has destroyed countless lives by making it cool to be a drug addict. People looking up to loser attitudes because this generation is afraid to strive for anything. It's y'all's fault all this lame ass shit is possible. Again, he may have a point here, but fans replied to Maco calling him a hypocrite since he raps about the same stuff. But Maco claimed he was dumbing down his music to blow up. You guessed it, was not luck. It wasn't an accident. I made the dumbest song I possibly could on a beat full of bass and knew it would blow. I manipulated over 40 million minds and counting based on the exact same principles that I'm preaching.
Guy's ego is
more
out of
qualified to say
control,
this?
dude.
Now, Maco has always made more conscious, focused music with substantial lyrics.
Like Jason, Michael, Freddie, and Idi Amin. After your civil syllable war, niggas should have been prepped before.
But a lot of his
Jid
music
blew
was
up
just
and you didn't,
mediocre
my man.
born trap.
Get the cat, get the cat. Get the bag, get the bag. Ay, get the cat, get the cat.
Also, if he claims to be such a genius, why wasn't he able to do it again? During his brief moment of popularity, Maco consistently released music on SoundCloud, but nothing sounded anywhere near as innovative, fun, or interesting as You Guessed It. His downfall was easily due to dissing rappers for absolutely no reason, non-stop complaining on Twitter, and trying so hard to take credit for the success of anyone else.
Yeah,
was he an innovator?
stupid,
Absolutely.
man.
But he spent too much time talking about how influential he was on Twitter rather than trying to create a legacy to maintain his career. But what happens when the reason a rapper blows up is the same exact reason why they had a downfall?
On July 26, 2016, just a few weeks after his 16th birthday, SoundCloud rapper Tay K and 5 others conspired to rob a 17-year-old drug dealer, Zachary Belote. The crew broke into the house around 10 p.m., and the robbery went wrong, which led to the drug dealer's friend and roommate, Ethan Walker, being fatally shot. Tay K admitted during the police interrogation that he was not the shooter, but was there looking for drugs and money. He had been released from custody pending the trial and was placed on house arrest with an ankle monitor. For the next 7 months, Tay K sat in his room, making music, releasing it on SoundCloud, and built up a following. With no money for a lawyer and quickly approaching the hearing for the murder, Tay K infamously tweeted that he was tired of house arrest and the police were going to have to hunt him down. While on the run from the police, Tay K was very active on social media. Fans posted pictures and videos of him in public. But Tay K and his friends were desperate for money. He robbed a 65-year-old man named Skip Pepe at gunpoint in Arlington's Craven Park. He then attempted to rob a cameraman named Mark Anthony Saldivar in a Chick-fil-A parking lot. Mark began screaming for help as he tried to escape. Then Tay K hit him with the car before getting out, fatally shooting him and driving off. San Antonio police connected Tay K to the murder due to surveillance footage and posted wanted signs around the city. Tay K saw this as a marketing opportunity, posting pictures and videos with the wanted sign. He then dropped a song called The Race on SoundCloud, which essentially told the story of him being a fugitive, robbing and killing people while on the run from the police. After filming and releasing the music video to The Race, Tay K was captured by U.S. Marshals in Elizabeth, New Jersey. The shockingly true story led to the 17-year-old exploding in virality. The Race secured hundreds of millions of views on YouTube, reached number 44 on the Billboard Hot 100, and hashtag #FreeTayK became a movement supported by some of the biggest rappers in the game. He even signed a $700,000 record deal, but none of it mattered because he was behind bars. And in 2019, he was given a 55-year sentence after being found guilty of murder and 3 counts of aggravated robbery. Obviously, Tay K's downfall could have been prevented if he simply did not commit these heinous acts. But as bad as it sounds, none of us would even know about him if he didn't actually rob and murder people, then make songs about it while mocking the police on the run from the law. Rap fans glamorize this type of behavior because the music is, a lot of the time, violent and derogatory. So if you're gonna rap about it, fans want you to be about it. But the fans won't be the ones sitting in the jail cell. Pooh Sheisty is an example of someone who was heavily rewarded for his violent music. His song Back in Blood, featuring Lil Durk, was essentially a song about killing your enemies. This track would reach number 37 on the Billboard Hot 100 and secured himself as a promising new talent in hip-hop. But at this peak of his new career, he got arrested. Pooh Sheisty and his crew were at the King of Diamonds strip club in Miami, Florida. Allegedly, Sheisty...
Man, it's such a double-edged sword. It's like they don't obtain this success without the lifestyle they live, and vice versa. Like it just wouldn't be possible if they didn't do these things. But like the reality is that they really shouldn't be, because it just gets in the way of their career, man.
Yeah, I don't know if they definitely wouldn't. Like, if they're talented and put in work and have cool marketing and all that stuff, they will blow up. But I know what you mean. It
seems like that's
an easy way to blow up.
Is to like be a criminal and...
Well, that's it. Like you said, if you're gonna rap about it, you got to be about it, because he keeps showing 6ix9ine. That's the biggest thing. 6ix9ine would sing about being a gangster and a killer and stuff, and wasn't, and that ruined his career basically. I mean, he still does big numbers, but like at the time, people thought he was a real blood and like a real killer, and then he turned out to snitch on his friends and not be, and he got cancelled for it. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's like you said, the reason that these guys are blowing up is also the reason for their downfall. And like you said, it's a massive double-edged sword.
Yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you can't get away with this stuff if you're broadcasting it to the world, man.
Not at all, man.
He had money taken from him, which led to major commotion in the club. Security acted accordingly and escorted Pooh Sheisty out of the club, but he forced his way back into the club and accidentally fired a handgun at a working security guard. Pooh Sheisty turned himself in on June 8th, 2021, and had his hearing the following day, where he would be denied bond. He would later be sentenced to 5 years and 3 months in prison on April 20th, 2022. He could have easily just left the club and let others go handle the money situation, but maybe he felt the need to live up to his Back in Blood lyrics. I got my own fire, don't need security in the club. If you haven't noticed, rappers and shootings seem to be a very common trend that leads to their downfall. Tory Lanez is no different. However, many people still question if he is actually guilty of being the shooter. In 2020, Tory Lanez was at the peak of his career. His feature on Jack Harlow's What's Poppin' reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 while objectively being the best verse. His album, The New Toronto 3, debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200. He broke...
I don't know this guy.
Well, it's funny. We were talking before a bit about Aiden Ross, just chatting off camera, and Tory Lanez is one of the rappers that sort of like Aiden Ross helped him blow up. He did this really famous freestyle on Aiden Ross's stream that went crazy viral, and then he had big hits. So yeah, let's see what happened. I kind of know the story, but I'm interested.
Broke the record for the most live viewers in an Instagram live during his quarantine.
An artist that we've reacted to on this channel, Meg Thee Stallion, he shot her.
Is that what this is about?
Yeah.
Radio show during the pandemic. However, on July 12th, 2020, he was arrested on a felony gun charge while out with Megan Thee Stallion after attending a small party at Kylie Jenner's house. The public was also informed that Megan had cut her foot on broken glass. Then 3 days later, she changed her story to say that she was shot in the foot. Then 1 month later, she said this.
Yes, this nigga Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying.
Whoa.
Social media immediately took Megan's side. Tory remained silent about the allegations, but responded with lyrics on his album Daystar. How the fuck you get shot in your foot and don't hit no bones or tendons? How the fuck your team is trying to paint me as a whole menace? The illusional, like how that 1942 from Kylie house still got you talking crazy, as well as also rapping about why he hasn't been nearly as vocal as Meg. Think I'm finna talk about an open case for some likes? Tory Lanez was charged with 1 count of assault with a semi-automatic firearm and 1 count of carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm in October of 2020. Although Tory claimed he was being blackballed by the music industry, his career continued to thrive. He released 4 albums independently, which would all garner hundreds of millions of streams. He received praise from LeBron James as well as dozens of other mainstream acts. Fans believed if it wasn't for this case, he would have been toe-to-toe with the biggest rappers in the game. But once we finally got the information from this trial, we would end up with more questions than answers. On July 12, 2020, Tory Lanez, his bodyguard Megan Thee Stallion, and her friend Kelsey Harris were attending a small gathering at Kylie Jenner's house. Megan testified that she lied to the police about the glass, lied to doctors, and basically lied about the entire situation out of fear. Her news story was pretty simple. She said that they had an argument, she exited the car, Tory leaned out of the passenger side door, said, "Dance, bitch," and shot her from 25 feet away in the back of the foot. Then Tory ran up to her apologizing, and she got back into the car so they could give her a ride home. The cops arrived when the neighbors reported the gunshots. Tory chose not to testify and defend himself, which he would later regret.
There's
Kelsey,
evidence
Meg's
of the gun
friend,
being fired,
testified
man.
that
It
Tory
makes
was trying to
sense.
hook up with Kylie Jenner, and Meg tried to convince him to leave the house. Meg was upset that Tory didn't want to leave, so she got into the car with Kelsey and drove almost all the way home before realizing she forgot her slipper and went back to Kylie's. They grabbed Tory the second time after Kylie allegedly told them to leave. In the car is when Tory admitted that he and Megan had been in a romantic relationship. Kelsey was shocked because Megan was the one who hooked up Tory and Kelsey in the first place. Kelsey also admitted that this was not the first time Meg had backdoored her when it came to men. Now we have a love triangle. And this is how the argument started. But Kelsey pleaded the fifth when it came to speaking about anything regarding the gun or shooting. The government offered her immunity, so she couldn't be charged with any crime even if she admitted to it. She still refused to speak. There was one witness, Sean Kelly, who saw the altercation from his balcony after being awoken by the arguing. Sean said he witnessed Kelsey get out from the back seat, open the front passenger door, and start physically fighting Megan in the front seat. He also said that the muzzle flash from the gun was closest to Kelsey. Much of his testimony was ignored because he couldn't identify the people by name since it was dark. He only said big man, small man, and 2 women. Nobody admitted to hearing the words dance bitch besides Megan. There was gunshot residue on Kelsey's hands and Tory's hands.
Yeah.
Also after this night, Kelsey and Megan stopped being friends after being best friends for 7 years. When Tory was initially jailed, he called Kelsey and apologized multiple times to her. I know she's probably never ever gonna talk to me ever again, but bruh, I just want you to know,
I was just so drunk. I don't even know what was going on. I'd never do some shit like that. Regardless, that's not gonna make anything right, and that's not gonna make my actions right. But I'm deeply sorry for that. I never even moved like that at all. People speculated Tory was apologizing for sleeping with both of the women and causing chaos. Others see this as an obvious admission of shooting the gun. Some people think it was Kelsey who was angry and shot Megan. Some people think Megan was the one who accidentally shot her own foot. Some people think that Kelsey pleading the fifth was her attempt to try to save both of them. But at the end of the day, the jury decided he was guilty. Man. And because of that, Tory was sentenced to 10 years in prison.
Yeah, that was super juicy, super interesting, man. Pat does such a good story of like painting the picture and telling the facts and building up the story. That was really interesting. I really like that. Yeah, it's cool because like as much as a hip hop fan as I am, I don't really follow the drama side of things. Like I just want to listen to the music, but
I'll watch it if Pat's reporting about it.
Yeah. I like when all the facts have been kind of put together and you can tell it in a story. It's super interesting.
Yeah. Man, Pat's so good at what he does.
Yeah, crazy good. And it's crazy how quickly some of these people destroyed their careers, man. Like
wild.
They all
like as they're blowing up.
Yeah, exactly. Like him saying that these people could have been on par with Drake and then they throw their career away. It's crazy. It just shows you like kind of how hard it is once you're in the public eye to not let that get to your head and go crazy. Like guys like Drake who have never really had a big controversy, it takes a lot of effort to not kind of play into these stupid games that people play, man.
Absolutely. And you can imagine like all the partying and all the chaos with being in that scene.
And like the inflation of your ego and everyone telling you that you're a genius, you're the man.
All the drugs you're getting fed.
Yeah. Everything's free. They want you to come here and there. And you can see, not that it's an excuse, but you can definitely see why some of these people go down the wrong road, man. Yeah. Super interesting. Well,
super
I love
interesting
that, man. That
and such a shame. Yeah, it was really good. He's amazing. He did a really good job.
Shout out to Pat CC. Make sure you check out his content. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know in the comments what you think. If you've got any similar videos, we'll check them out.